Right now at 6, SSM Health changes its plan to open a new clinic on South Park Street after neighbors voiced concerns about the grocery store it would lose.
And we're talking with state troopers about what you should know for the upcoming holiday weekend road trip.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Thanks for joining us. A major development is being relocated following intense pushback from the community.
Residents near Park Street were concerned that an SSM Health clinic going up in place of a grocery store would create a food desert in the neighborhood. Keely Arthur is on South Park Street and explains what SSM Health's plan is now. Keely?
Well, for months, SSM Health was planning to put the clinic in right here in place of that pick and save, but they decided to scrap that plan. They say their decision all comes down to food access and listening to what the residents here wanted.
We heard you, Madison. We heard you, South Madison.
For months, SSM Health heard one clear message from the community living in the South Park Street area of Madison.
It was, if you can avoid it, please do not take our one grocery store away.
Today, Regional President for SSM Health, Damon Boatwright, responding by doing just that. SSM Health canceling their original plan to build a clinic at 1312 South Park Street, the current site of a Pick and Save, after concerns that losing Pick and Save, one of the only full-service grocery stores in the area, would create a food desert.
Those who lead churches, the Urban League, Hispano Centro, and those types of organizations, the Catholic Multicultural Center, and they had real concerns about whether or not there would be hardships if the grocery store, the one grocery store that's there, that went away.
Boatwright says the same clinic planned will now go up on the existing South Fish Hatchery Road property nearby.
I feel really good about the future direction now.
He says even though they're not building there, he is committed to helping the Park Street area. The Pick and Save is an older grocery store and will likely close in the near future. So the city and SSM Health are also announcing today that they will work together to find a replacement. Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway today feeling good about that decision.
I'm also really appreciative of how responsive they are being to the community and their commitment to helping us maintain healthy food access in South Madison.
Alder for the area, Tag Evers, blogging, what we're seeing is a textbook example of corporate responsibility, hearing neighborhood concerns and working collaboratively to come up with creative solutions is the right way to move forward.
Sometimes you come into the right decisions, and other times you have to make decisions right.
And just to give you an idea of where that new grocery store could go, here's the Pick and Save. Here's the lot where the city plans to develop the new grocery store. Now, no clue as to who will actually be that grocer. That's all up to the city. Also, no clue when this will close and that one will open. We're also trying to figure out exactly when the clinic on Fish Hatchery will open. So still many updates to this, but definitely a happy one today.
State GOP leaders are still ironing out their spending plans for K-12 education tonight. Assembly Republicans laid out what they call their pro-kid budget today, a $500 million increase in K-12 funding. That's less than half of the $1.4 billion increase Democratic Governor Tony Evers proposed. The GOP plan would have a $50 million increase in special education funding compared to the $600 million Evers wants, and Democrats say it's not enough.
We're making a historic investment in education. This will be the highest level of investment that we have ever made in our public schools in the history of Wisconsin. And that is something that we hope will generate broad bipartisan support.
I would hope that the Republicans, this is not their final bottom line, because it's not going to help schools who are really struggling right now. And we hope that they are not serious about what they proposed this afternoon when it comes to K-12 education.
Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald says he's still trying to negotiate with Assembly Speaker Robin Vos and his Senate Republicans. The Joint Finance Committee will vote tomorrow on the state's education budget proposal.
Just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center, Governor Evers has selected Brenda Yaskell to fill the vacant Columbia County District Attorney position. Former DA Tristan Egan abruptly resigned last month, citing a toxic environment in her resignation letter. Columbia County is investigating alleged harassment complaint against the DA's office. Egan said she didn't know who was involved in that complaint. Yaskell has served on Sauk County's Juvenile Justice Committee, Child Death Review Team, and Drug Endangered Children Team, and was the Assistant DA in Columbia County for a decade. To weather now, breezy but warmer outside today. Your first alert forecast now with meteorologist Dana Fulton. Dana?
Even got some sunshine for us this afternoon. Overall, not too bad aside from the wind being factored in. Our Doppler radar is still quiet for us in southern Wisconsin. Now, looking to the south, there is a thunderstorm or tornado watch in effect stretching through Missouri, Iowa, and Illinois. Again, that's well to the south for us right now, but those storms are moving north, and we do have the chance to have some very strong thunderstorms later this evening. As far as wind speeds are concerned, anywhere from 20 to 25 miles per hour right now for most of southern Wisconsin. Wind gusts have got close to 30 miles per hour for us today. Our temperatures in the last 24 hours have climbed quite a bit. A 23-degree jump in Madison, a 29-degree jump in Janesville. We are in the mid to upper 70s right now. We'll fall over the next few hours. Again, that rain chance starts to creep in around 10. It will hang out until midnight tomorrow. We're looking at a dry day, but we'll talk about your rainy Friday in just a few minutes.
People near Fort Atkinson are back in their homes tonight after a gas leak forced them to evacuate. It happened in the area of Treeloft Road at Highway 12, just east of Red Cedar Lake. Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says they were called at about noon after a construction worker accidentally hit a line. While residents were allowed back in shortly after, the Sheriff's Office says several will be without gas service for the remainder of the day.
A nonprofit is asking community members to support Dane County's first Black Women's Wellness Center. It will be located near Westtown Mall in the middle of two zip codes that are most impacted by Black women's health disparities. Babies born to African-American mothers in Dane County are twice as likely to be born with low birth weights compared to white mothers. And Wisconsin is the only state in the country where Black women's life expectancy is not improving. The president of the Foundation for Black Women's Wellness says they serve more than 1,000 women and girls each year.
Breast and cervical health, cardiovascular disease and stroke prevention, nutrition, healthy eating, healthy mother-baby education, mental health support, financial education, stress reduction. We've done mindfulness work, the whole battery of things to really equip women with all the possible tools that they need to find their path to wellness.
The foundation is asking for help raising $100,000 to expand its programming to the new space. If you'd like to contribute, we have a link on channel3000.com. The Salvation Army is considering demolishing its current downtown building and creating a new space. That would include added services like transitional housing for clients who still need social services and affordable apartments. Alder Patrick Heck says the proposal is still in the early stages, but if you're interested in learning more, there is a neighborhood meeting scheduled at Lapham Elementary School on June 6th.
This time last year, Wisconsinites were pushing for a lower speed limit along the interstate after a string of crashes in construction zones.
The Department of Transportation says this year crashes and tickets are down drastically. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter rode along with a state trooper today and joins us with what you should watch out for if you're traveling this holiday weekend. Adam?
Well, Eric and Susan, the DOT says this past year has not only brought physical improvements to the roads, but improvements to how the drivers on the roads are driving themselves. And with one of the biggest travel weekends of the year coming up in just a few days, they're hoping that trend will continue.
You accelerated up to about 85 miles an hour at the same time, okay?
State Trooper Brendan Farrell says the #1 issue he sees on the road
Has the registration for you?
is speed.
There's really no excuse for anybody not knowing the speed limit.
This driver clocked going 85, and with 2 stretches of construction on the interstate between Madison and Beloit, that won't fly.
Sometimes you'll see people that might be speeding because they're distracted. A combination of things can add to a bad situation for sure.
However, the DOT says the difference between last year and this year is night and day. After settling on a work zone speed limit of 60 miles per hour, they've seen a significant drop in crashes and tickets.
I think it's better this year than it was last year when they initially lowered the speed limit. I think they've done a good job of, there's many signs out before you enter the construction zones. Multiple warning signs, speed limit reduced ahead.
Despite that, Trooper Farrell says he has no problem pulling you over, especially if you're speeding in a construction zone.
If there's workers that are on their shoulder near the traffic lane, are we going to enforce the speed limit more stringently? Probably. There's more concern, more necessary protection for those workers.
However, this driver was lucky enough
This is just a written warning. It doesn't go into your driving record or affect it at all.
to make it off with a warning.
Keeping your following distance a little bigger and then watching your speed a little more closely too. So.
And Trooper Farrell says this weekend the DOT and the State Patrol will have troopers both on the ground and in the sky, which means even if you don't see a police cruiser, it doesn't mean you can get away with speeding. But he does say he is proud and glad to see how the numbers have dropped this year as compared to last year.
Adam Duxter live in Janesville. Thanks, Adam.
As severe storms continue to move through the central part of the United States, Red Cross volunteers from Wisconsin are jumping in to help. The storms have included heavy rains, flash flooding, hail, and more than 130 reports of tornadoes in just 5 days. Local Red Cross volunteer Dennis Erickson flew out of Dane County Regional Airport this morning to serve as a shelter supervisor in Oklahoma. He is one of 7 volunteers from across the state being deployed. If you'd like to help as well, you can make a donation at redcross.org.
A Rastafarian church that sparked debate for selling marijuana on State Street is now facing backlash over some of its other behaviors.
Why community members say their actions are racist, homophobic, and anti-feminist when News 3 Now at 6 continues.
Chronic pain patients and their families are trying to get the word out about what they're calling the unintended consequences of the opioid epidemic.
At the Capitol today, pain patients protested against the CDC's 2016 opioid guidelines.
Our goal is to educate the general public to what is going on, because everybody's just one car accident away or disease diagnosis away from being a pain patient.
Now, those at the rally say the CDC's regulations have forced their healthcare providers to prescribe them lower doses than what they're used to taking. 100 million Americans suffer from chronic pain. Since it opened earlier this year, Lion of Judah House of Rastafari has been selling cannabis as a sacrament through what they say is a legal religious exemption.
While the church's legality is still in question, some community members are protesting over behavior they say is racist, homophobic, and anti-feminist. Chris Leuenberg reports.
The Lion of Judah House of Rastafari says that over 20,000 members have joined since its inception, but community advocates say that maybe some of those people should rethink supporting the organization. Dana Pellebon says that when she walked into Lion of Judah House of Rastafari, she just wanted to have a conversation.
Honestly, I came here to talk to you about your cultural appropriation of Rastafarianism.
Instead, the incident became heated. She says that this shaky cell phone video shows her being pushed out of the establishment.
You got to go!
That's right, a patron of the church called Pelabon a Neanderthal. She says that this is just one type of problematic behavior, including social media posts containing memes denigrating feminism and complaining of heterophobia.
I wanted to know why it was they were using my culture to appropriate the ability to sell an illegal substance.
The House of Rastafari says that the establishment is a place of togetherness.
It's all been love and unity here. We treat people with respect according to how they present themselves and treat us.
And as for the Neanderthal comment,
she's obviously a mixed-race woman.
And for the record, she's not.
And science will tell you that anybody who's not a sub-Saharan African has some mixture, some percent of Neanderthal. She's even part Neanderthal herself.
Stop coming here. But we, as a people, decide whether or not they stay open.
The protesters say that their ultimate goal is to have the church closed and its founders arrested. I'm Chris Lewinberg, News 3 Now.
The city of Madison sent a cease and desist letter to the church last month. The House of Rastafari has filed a federal lawsuit in response.
Much warmer with more sun today, but the clouds will return overnight.
And with them might come some strong storms later this week. Meteorologist Dana Fulton will have the first alert forecast when we come back. It's windy, but it's nice and warm outside. That's nice to feel today.
Yeah, it's nice to enjoy the sunshine. Temperatures aren't too bad, but that wind, though, of course.
Oh, yeah.
We've had
It's a bad hair day.
It's a bad hair day. There are a few branches down, actually, out on the weather patio. We've had a few reports of folks having more than just a few branches. We actually had this close call in Cross Plains. This picture sent to us by Mark Richardson. A few reports of some smaller trees, this time a bigger tree, very, very close to the roof. Thankfully, no roof damage with that one. We do have a few showers up towards Camp Douglas right now. Most of the stronger storms, though, are well to our south. They likely won't be pushing close to Madison, but towards the southeast corner of the state, Janesville on east may be dealing with some stronger thunderstorms popping through later on this evening. As far as the greatest threat for severe weather, again, really far far down to the southwest. Any chance for tornadoes is going to stay to the south also, but we do have the chance to see some hail, especially to the east with those storms later this evening, and the possibility for some stronger wind gusts also. So that's over 25 miles per hour. And right now our sustained wind speeds are about 20 to 25 miles per hour. It's very windy outside. This is all as this area of low pressure continues to push east. We have a warm front right now just draped over central Wisconsin. Temperatures currently well above average, mid to upper 70s. This cold front, though, is driving some stronger storms into eastern Iowa and northern Illinois. Right now, it's going to cross overnight, and as it does cross, we're expecting our temperatures to be a little cooler tomorrow. So those shower chances favored really towards the southeast corner of the state tonight. Tomorrow, we're looking at some sunshine in the afternoon, and then by Friday, expect showers all day long with the potential for some stronger thunderstorms in there as well. And our rainfall totals by the end of Friday and into Saturday morning, that bullseye is centered right in the center of southern Wisconsin, anywhere from 2 to 3 inches possible in that 24-hour period around Madison. So we could be dealing with some isolated flooding concerns late on Friday and into Saturday morning. Our breeze coming from the south right now, that's that warmer air coming in. Looking towards later this evening, that threat for some isolated thunderstorms is really going to move in for us again towards the southeast corner. Probably not going to see any rainfall towards Prairie du Chien or in Platteville. By tomorrow morning, temperatures will be in the middle 50s. In the afternoon, we have sunshine. Our breeze coming from the northeast. It's going to be a little cooler outside, still above average though, in the lower 70s. Friday, that rain chance starts to build in the morning, and then we are looking at the chance for showers to continue to develop in the afternoon. So we do have an alert day in the forecast for Friday. The concern with those thunderstorms, possibility for some really strong wind gusts, also the possibility for some hail, and there is going to be a little tornado threat, especially along that state line on south. Again, overnight, a few thunderstorms possible. Likely not going to see anything, though, from Madison on west. Tomorrow, a high of about 73, partly sunny, but still pretty mild outside. Mid to low 70s for Thursday and for Friday. Saturday, we'll hop up a little bit into the middle 70s with some sunshine, partly sunny skies on Saturday. Variably cloudy, though, on Sunday, so a few more clouds than sun. It'll be a little cooler to start off next week with shower and thunderstorm chances expected to start up late on Memorial Day and stay with us through Tuesday and Wednesday. That's a quick look at your forecast.
Verona area's Will Tennyson tries to keep his undefeated senior season alive at the tennis sectionals at Nielsen. The story coming up in sports. The Bucs are back in Milwaukee to host Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals tomorrow night at 7:30. The series has a different complexion after the Raptors held serve and won both games in Toronto to even the series at 2 games apiece. It's only the second time all year the Bucs have lost consecutive games. But head coach Mike Budenholzer says getting blown out by 18 last night is probably easier to take than the alternative.
The emotional toll of losing close games and heartbreakers sometimes is hard. We got punched. They played really well, and so in that sense, can we go home and get ready for another battle and be ready to go? I totally believe in Game 5 we'll be ready.
2 Bucs are on the NBA's all-defensive first team. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Eric Bledsoe are considered among the top 5 defenders in the league. They're the first Milwaukee Bucks to be all-NBA defensive first team since Alvin Robertson in 1991. Seemed like the Brewers and Reds would have a pitcher's duel at Miller Park this afternoon. Both starting pitchers, Zach Davies and Luis Castillo, had an earned run average under 2 runs a game. But, of course, it was an offensive explosion for both teams. Brewers are down 5-0. They tied at 6-6. Brewers went ahead here on a 2-run hit by Eric Thames to make it 8-6. Reds came back to tie at 8-8. Then Hernan Perez hit this one fair down the left field line to put the Brewers back ahead. Final is Brewers 11, Reds 9. Brewers are off tomorrow. The Packers took a day off today. Then they'll have another organized team activity tomorrow in Green Bay. It's been a getting-to-know-you session as new head coach Matt LaFleur learns about his players and vice versa. LaFleur says they're figuring out who fits where into the new Packers offense. LaFleur says they're on the way to doing that.
I'd like to think that we have a pretty good grasp of what our guys are capable of doing, but until you really go through that process and give guys opportunities and put them in positions, you really don't know. And then certainly, just being the game that football is, you better be ready to adjust.
There's a WIA boys sectional tennis tournament at Nielsen Tennis Stadium today. What a battle in #1 doubles. Middleton Sam Detman and Brandon Bodak and Madison West Felix Bayline and Matthew Ruggiero go to a tiebreaker in the deciding set. The middle team wins it 11-9. Detman and Bodak win that sectional title. At #1 singles, Verona area's Will Tennyson continues his undefeated senior season. Tennyson sweeps through the field to win #1 singles. He's now 23-0 on his way to the state individual meet next week. Middleton wins the team sectional, so the Cardinals qualify for the state team tournament. Jonathan Sippis has a new assistant coach at Badger women's basketball, and it's a name you might remember. Lindsay Wisdom Hilton was a great player for Purdue about 10 years ago. Now she's a member of the Badgers coaching staff. And the Minnesota Intercollegiate Athletic Conference has voted to kick St. Thomas out of the conference. 9 of the 13 conference presidents voted to send the Tommies packing. St. Thomas is the biggest school in the conference. Their dominant football team beat St. Olaf 97-0 a couple of years ago. So St. Thomas is going to be kicked out of the MIAC 2 years from now. You know what they say, if you can't beat them, kick them out.
Fire them, get rid of them. Don't want to play them anymore. All right, final check of the forecast.
So we do have the chance tonight to have a few scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially towards that southeast corner of the state. Tomorrow will be mild and partly sunny, a high of about 73, so a little cooler than today, but still pretty fine. The thunderstorms will start to develop at night for us into Friday. Friday we do have an alert day with a chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the afternoon. We could see some isolated flooding in spots also. By Saturday, the rain is gone. We have sunshine for Saturday and Sunday.
Dana, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a good evening, everybody. See you back here tonight at 10.